2020's Kolkata Book Fair. Book Fair wasn't possible this year due to this corona ambience. For last quite a few years, there's a stall of Krishnamurti Foundation in Kolkata Book Fair. Small but beautiful. No, it's not at all crowded like renowned publishers' stalls. But when just few people come and pick up a Jiddu Krishnamurti book, inquires about him, and to ignite those interests of Chirojoy or Probidda, Kamalji, Noreshji or Sudeshna or few others on behalf of Krishnamurti Foundation start engaging through informal interactions. Mankind, through education, relation, love, nature, spirituality, interactions on these topics creates another dimension and bonding, which is surely beyond comparison with so-called crowded pavilions or at the end of the day's monetary turnover. While roaming in book fair few years back, myself, Gautam, surprisingly found myself inside Krishnamurti Foundation stall and fully engulfed in love and affection immediately. Eventually, I got attached deeply with Krishnamurti and all the activities of Foundation's Kolkata Centre gradually.
একই আকাশের নিচে একই পৃথিবীর বুকে প্রথম মায়ের দুধের গন্ধ সব মানুষের মুখে।
Even in this pandemic situation for last 1.5 years, we continued our quest, our inquiries on life as a whole. As the saying goes, blessing in disguise. Yes, with the help of today's online technology, we pursued our interactions, meetings, and continued to absorb case teachings and philosophy relentlessly.
আমার একটা পাল্টা প্রশ্ন আমি নিজের কাছে করছিলাম, আমি কেন পাল্টাবো? কি হয়েছে আমার মনোজগতে? আমি ফিজিক্যালি বলছি না, দৈহিকভাবে বলছি না, আমার মনোজগতের কথা বলছি।
And now we are not bound in any location, city, country, or even continent, which is so astonishing. In such meetings, we used to connect people far from California to Amsterdam, from Rio de Janeiro to Japan, and people from different corners of India. Some very eminent personalities to general people like me connect and absorb and exchange with so very ease. Day by day, we become more and more enriched. Let me inform you that in early 2020, our Kolkata Centre was very blessed. Welcome to Kolkata, sir.
Thank you so much.
To have Sam Markley visit our city from that very far off California. In those 2 days of his visit, we absorbed all the minute details of Jiddu Krishnamurti's teachings, intriguing insights of his life and his core philosophies. Sam Markley once worked with Krishnamurti very closely. He used to teach in Krishnamurti Foundation schools, worked as director, serving as executive director of Krishnamurti Foundation United States was his another repertory.
You have to deal with them practically, simply, fundamentally. Otherwise, you don't have a class, you're not a teacher.
Your brain to develop. The more it's developed, the greater the brain capacity is.
Close encounter with a man of this caliber, interviewing him on camera, seminars, informal dialogues, all those chit-chats and interview sessions in book fair.
He was constantly looking, constantly aware of his environment, appreciating it, asking questions about it, how it was cared for, how it was looked after. As he walked around the campuses of the school, he had very definite opinions about what was planted, what trees should be cultivated. I remember at Rajghat there was a small grove of mangoes on the other side of the campus, and the person who was taking him on the walk, Achyut Patwardhan, was a great freedom fighter and politician in early India. He told Krishnamurti, he said, "Sir, these trees don't bear fruit. We haven't had mangoes from these trees for years." Krishnaji didn't say anything. He went on the walk, went along. Coming back at the end of the walk, he went over to the mango trees and he stood under one of the trees and he talked to the mango. And he said, "I understand you're not bearing fruit. If you don't fruit, they're going to cut you down." He spoke to the tree silently. Next year he came back. Achyut told him the mangoes were prolific. All the trees had burst into bloom and were producing fruit. That's one story among dozens of stories where he did the same thing with some almond trees in Ojai.
How did he told this story?
He would tell the story, or Achyut told us the story.
About Krishnamurti, life as a whole, journey into the alleys and bylanes of our mind space and exploring the vast intricacies was so absorbing and deep in content. We all are very, very grateful to Sam Markley. Now let's revisit those days through this audiovisual, just flipping through a few pages from the cherished past. Let me tell you in this context, one very engaging biography of Jiddu Krishnamurti, world teacher, had been published at 2020's Kolkata Book Fair. Writer Mark Lee. We had a very engaging talk on that too. And now the big news. The Bengali translation of World Teacher is queuing up to release soon. Translated by our very own Probir Banerjee of Kolkata Centre. Biography of that stature of Krishnamurti. That too in Bengali. It's a huge news for the crores of Bengali speaking people throughout the world. Especially in today's turbulent scenario throughout the world, we need to come closer with Krishnamurti's ethos, try to absorb few things to make our life little more meaningful, little more relevance to our surroundings. Let the birds of our entity bloom little more from within. It's our endless quest to explore. Let's keep walking.
Attend, that means listen, see, give your heart to it, give your mind to it, give your whole being to it, to attend. Otherwise you can't attend. If I'm thinking about something else, I can't attend. If I'm hearing my own voice, I can't attend.